Hey, good day, everybody. Steve Prasbrowski here. Welcome to episode 7, which discusses tip number 7 of 101 tips to ace your next promotional examination. So let's get going. As a reminder, my website, code3firetraining.com, has a lot of great free stuff throughout, as well as a free stuff link with great stuff on training, leadership, promotional preparation, professional development, a lot of good resources. And as a reminder, 101 Tips to Ace Your Promotional Exam is my latest book through Fire Engineering Books and Videos, available on their website, fireengineeringbooks.com, as well as my website, code3firetraining.com. And there's also a code to save 25% if you use 101 Tips, as you can see in the green box there. So if you have any questions or issues with that, feel free to reach out and I'll see if I can walk you through them. So, all right. We've talked about 6 different tips so far. We still got a lot more to go, but trying to keep these short and sweet and everything else. And I'm also trying to add some value to what's necessarily in the book. I'm obviously not regurgitating what's in the book, but I'm trying to cover the tip and then maybe cover a few key points. And then obviously there's a lot more to read when it comes to the book itself. But anyway, tip number 7 discusses getting promoted is a mindset. And what I do shortly here is I go into 7 different things, what I feel MINDSET stands for. Now, as you've experienced, if you've heard me talk about the other tips in the previous videos, or if you've seen the book yet, I've got 37 different authors, fire service experts, leaders from all ranks around the country, from all types of departments that are helping me out, providing voices of experience. These individuals, many of them really good friends of mine, brothers, mentors, sisters, good folks in the fire service that just offer to contribute and help out. And I can never thank them enough for that. But the voice of experience for this tip is my buddy, good brother, Captain Mike Daly out from Monroe Township, New Jersey. Captain Daly is just a total rock star, and I encourage you to check him out, and a lot of good stuff he does training wise for the fire service. So let's talk a little bit about getting promoted as a mindset. So what the M stands for is you have to be mentally and physically prepared. Because if you think about it, you may know about your testing process a year or two in advance, or it might be, hey, boom, the flyer comes out and you've got like whatever, 2 weeks to turn in your application and it just came in out of the blue. I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully it's more preparation, but you can't just turn on the light switch and just boom, I got to prepare for the test and do well. Well, it's mentally and physically challenging to go through the process itself, because in normal preparation times, which hopefully you have, you're studying, you're preparing, you're doing a lot of things to prepare yourself, not just while at work on duty, but also at home. So you got to get your family on board, your friends on board, and you got to find balance at it so you don't drive yourself crazy throughout this process. But, I talk about some of the mental and physical aspects of preparing yourself for the testing process, because if you've never been through a promotional process, it can be demanding as ever on your personal life as well as your professional life. And I want you to succeed. The I stands for imagine and envision yourself in the position. One of the previous tips I just touched on, I believe it was tip number 5, was 5 or 6, I can't remember, sorry, was thinking and acting like the position you aspire to as much as possible, on a daily basis. And I think that's the key, is don't just sit there and go, well, it'd be cool to be in that position of captain. Let's say you're a firefighter engineer. One day, someday, you've got to live, sleep, eat, breathe this stuff. And I share some suggestions about how to imagine and envision yourself in that position. Because again, when you get to the testing process, when you can walk through that door, whether it's to take your written test or whether it's to do anything that's involved, whatever your department does for a promotional process, the confident ones, not the cocky or arrogant ones, but the confident individuals, the ones that usually do the best, because, hey, I prepared as well as I can. I'm in this mentally, physically, let's do it, So the more you can envision yourself in the position, I think the better off you're going to be, not, be that person. Just like when someone walks into the oral interview for captain, they're a firefighter or an engineer, and they walk into that captain's interview. To me, the successful ones, the confident ones that walk into the Raiders, hands extended to shake their hands. I mean, obviously pre-pandemic, I'm taping this in early March of 2021. We're still in the pandemic phase, and we're not really shaking hands. Just sort of like virtual fist bumps and virtual high fives, but we'll get back to it at some point of shaking hands, hugging, and everything else. that'll come in time. But anyway, you walk in that room, you're a firefighter or engineer. In normal times, you want to go reach out and shake everyone's hands. It's the way it works, and the good, confident candidates will be the ones to say, hi, you know, I'm Captain Prisbrowski. Pleasure to meet you. Captain Prisbrowski, pleasure to meet you. Captain Prisbrowski, as they're going around and introducing themselves to each of the three raters. Some people might say, well, wait, they're taking the captain's test. They're not a captain yet. Isn't that a little maybe getting the cart ahead of the horse, introducing themselves as captains? Some may say that, I don't know, but to me, there's some confidence. I got nothing wrong with it. I mean, yeah, they can come in and say, hi, I'm Steve or Steve Prisbrowski, firefighter Prisbrowski or engineer Prisbrowski. Yeah, nothing wrong with that either. Because I'm not saying you're lying, but nothing says you can't come in there confident and just say Captain Prisbrowski because you're in the mindset of the position. I think that shows some good confidence without being cocky. That's just me. Um, and you can't give up and you can't let others get to you. So regarding the end portion, it can be a stressful process. I mean, you're going to second guess yourself. You're going to have sometimes your family members, your friends, your people you think are your best friends, your brothers, your sisters. Oh man, you'll never get promoted. And, it's not about you. It's just, they don't promote whatever. I don't know. There's all those people that make those excuses of, oh, just don't even bother. Your odds are slim to begin with. I mean, I don't just love the haters that are just already talking you down before you even get the opportunity to even take the test. Oh, the chief doesn't, you're not going to get promoted. You don't like the chief, or the chief don't like you. You know what? Don't let them get to you. Mental, physical aspect, mentally, don't let them, shut them out, shut the haters out. Never give up either, because if it truly is a dream to get promoted or reach that goal, whatever that goal is of yours, keep with it. Make them not promote you. Instead, give them an opportunity to say no, or hopefully say yes, be positive there. So don't give up. And if you give up, you know what? Nothing wrong with that, but then don't blame others, point fingers. Give up because you choose to give up. But let's just say if you're putting the time and effort in, you're going to go forward and hopefully obtain the badge of your dreams. And again, don't let others get to you, even though unfortunately, what's the saying, misery loves company. And you're going to find a lot of miserable people because they tried taking the same test you are taking. And they're going to be the ones, yeah, I tried that, but you know what? I didn't get promoted. The test is BS, or, the Chiefs, they, whatever, they don't, we all hear that type of stuff. Don't be one of those folks and don't get sucked into that drama. All right. D for mindset, diversify your background. When I say diversify your background, if you're that one individual going into your oral interview and, well, and your claim to fame is you got 10 years of experience on the busiest engine company, fighting all the fire that there's to be fought in your community, saving all the babies, saving all the pets, doing all the cool bitching stuff that firefighters do. That's great. But it's not everything. Running calls is great for experience, but it's not everything. What else have you done to get involved with the department? On duty, off duty? Have you managed programs, been involved with committees, mentored others, trained others, taught classes, you know, taken classes? I remember years ago, one individual came into the captain's test. It was a firefighter, and he came into the captain's test. I'm on the oral board, and he's talking about his background. And one of the typical questions that we ask of you is, tell us how you prepared yourself for the position of captain. Common question, the opening statement. And he gets into his background. He's got 10 years on the job. And here he is basically saying, well, yeah, 10 years, the only, he's been at the same station pretty much the whole time. Once we get off probation, we allow people to bid stations. So he's basically worked at one of our slowest stations the whole time, which is, to me, there's nothing wrong with slow or busy. I prefer busy, and I think you get a lot of experience at busy stations, but it doesn't mean you're not ready to promote if you're at a slow station, because sometimes you may not have control over your station assignment. But anyway, he had 10 years at the slowest station, and the only certifications on his resume were the ones that the department made him take, meaning the department recruit academy, where we put our recruits through a new academy, and then the other certifications that he got within the academy. At the time, we had given out like ICS 100, ICS 200, I think low angle rope rescue systems one, various state certifications. And I remember he walked out of the room and the Raiders go, all that training and education, isn't that the stuff that he had to go through to pass the academy and his probationary period? Yeah. And it was just like, and he had done nothing else. And it's not just about education training, it's about experience. So, I mean, if you can work at different types of station assignments, have different types of backgrounds, don't get me wrong, operational experience is awesome. I love it. I get it. And the non-operational stuff is not fun. I mean, admin isn't fun. Fire prevention isn't fun for the average firefighter. Public education, fire investigation. And sorry, I didn't mean to be snarky on that, but most firefighters dig the operations. I get it. But it's not all about operations once you become an officer, especially a company officer, especially a chief officer. So the more diverse background you can have, operations, logistics, administration, fire prevention, fire investigation, public education, training, instruction, the better off you're going to be to show that you're a well-rounded individual to be that next whatever position you are aspiring to be. So diversify your background. I know it's tough to get out of your comfort zone. It's painful. But you know what? Those are the candidates that do well. They just don't have one focus on their background. I've worked at the busiest firehouse for the last 25 years. I ran 1,000 fires and, saved 25,000, whatever. I don't know. Cool. But what else do you have to offer? Training, mentoring, you know, management, supervision, leadership. I don't know. All right. Yes. Set some goals and objectives. I mean, life is all about goals and objectives, and take the time to set those big picture goals, those objectives it takes to meet those goals. Obviously, revisit them on a regular basis, update them, modify them, hopefully complete them, and then go to the next one. And that's not just a fire service thing, it's a life thing. So set your goals and your objectives. We'll talk about the 3 E's to get promoted. I'm not going to let out the secret right now, but there's 3 E's to get promoted. I mean, there is no one fail-safe way to get promoted, but I'll talk about 3 E's. Keep it simple there. And the last part of the mindset is T. Tenacity is key. Some people get promoted the first time around. Some people, it takes them 2 times, 3 times. I've seen people take like at least 5 times to pass a test. I mean, I remember one of our captains years ago, he took the captain's test. It seemed, I mean, every 18 months or every 2 years when we offered, it seemed like he took it like 6, 7, 8 times, maybe more. I don't know. Well, he got promoted at some point. He didn't give up. He kept with it. I mean, he finally found the magic success to connect the dots. And you know what? Good for him. How do you knock someone like that? Because most people usually give up, sometimes even after the first test or even the second or the third. I mean, some people, it's like, I don't want to. Forget it. Maybe it's not meant for me. But you know what? If you want this bad enough, stick with it. Again, don't expect it. It's nice when it happens the first go around. I mean, I wanted to get promoted to captain the first time, but the first time I got promoted, the first test I took for captain, I came out number 3 out of like 11 of us. 1 got promoted, 2 got promoted, and I died number 1 on the list. Excuse me, apologize. Let me take that back. That's BC. Sorry. When I took the captain's test, I was still number 3 on the list. 3 is my lucky number. That was what I got hired with, that I got on the captain's list, that I got promoted with. And then when it comes to the captain's test, yeah, we promoted 3 people. So I barely got promoted on that one right there. So I did get the first captain's test promotion. But when it was the battalion chief's test, that was the one where when I took the first battalion chief's test, I came out number 3. Again, my lucky number, I guess. But I didn't get promoted the first time around because 1 got promoted and 2 got promoted, and I died number 3. Well, when I took the battalion chief's test the second time, I did not want to come out number 3 again. I wanted to come out number 1. And because again, there's no guarantee that sometimes even 1 gets promoted. I mean, sometimes nobody gets promoted off the list. But anyway, I stuck with it. It worked out. Then when it came time for the deputy chief test, I think I had to take that about 3 times as well too. See, I guess I should play 3 for lottery tickets or whatever gambling numbers, but I don't gamble, but that's okay. But tenacity is the key. Stick with it. If you want this bad enough, whatever this is, eventually it'll happen or you'll give up. It may not happen. And here's the key. It may not happen in your own department, meaning if you want it that bad, and it's not happening in your own department, you may have to go elsewhere. Not everyone wants to do that. Not everyone wants to move, uproot themselves, uproot their family. But if you want something bad enough, it is out there if you go seek it. So tenacity is the key. But again, in the book, we talk more about what those mindset items are. So, hey, as always, thank you very much for the gift of your time. My social media footprint, my contact information, my cell and my email address are on the website. Please don't hesitate to reach out if I can be of any assistance to you in your pursuit of the badge. So until the next time, y'all be safe, y'all take care, and we will see you soon.